He is lying in a hotel bed, unable to sleep because of the loud couple next door. Walls are paper thin. He checks the time. 3:30 a.m. Annoyed out of his mind, our guy grabs his lighter. Lighting a cigarette for the dude next door? Seriously, could they not have finished this earlier? It is the middle of the night. Total noise pollution. Suddenly, boom! A door down the hall gets kicked open. Pure chaos. Screaming, crying, things smashing. He realizes someone is getting caught cheating. Drama time! Our guy quickly gets dressed to go watch. The door across the hall is wide open, so he sneaks a quick peek inside. A naked woman is getting dragged by her hair and slapped across the face. The side chick is sobbing hysterically, looking absolutely pitiful. But wait, the last time he saw her cry like that was when he proposed to her. Plot twist! Our guy rushes in, not to save his cheating fiancée, but to deliver a beatdown. He throws a massive punch straight at the cheating husband's face, leaving the entire room completely stunned. "Who are you?" the wife asks, pausing her slaps to stare at him in confusion. "Do not mind me. Just keep going." He tries to throw another punch, but two other guys quickly hold him back. Our guy puts his hands up, signaling he is done, then points at the crying woman on the floor. "That is my fiancé," he says. Everyone's reaction is pure gold.
Teaming up? No shot.
Our guy lights another cigarette. "You slap my girl," he says.
I beat your husband. Fair trade.
But one of the guys tells him to chill out.
Seriously, stop fighting.
One of the wife's friends steps up, clearly trying to defend the cheating husband. Our guy looks him dead in the eye and asks who the hell he is. Talk about aggressive. The dude raises his eyebrows, ready to fight, but our guy is already filled with absolute rage. He just wants to swing hands, does not even care who it is. Before the guy can even speak, our MC throws another hard right hook. 3 minutes later, everyone is exhausted from the brawl, and our guy is black and blue. His face is bleeding, but honestly, he does not feel a single thing. Sits in the corner, smoking. She walks over.
She kneels down, staring at the cigarette in his hand, lost in thought.
"Spit it out," he says. Surprisingly, she actually lets out a pretty nice smile. "Do whatever you want," she says. Our guy acts completely unfazed, but then she suggests they sleep together to get revenge on them. It ruins both her husband and his fiancé. Eye for an eye, right? Cigarette drops. Brain melted. Like, there is no way anyone could have predicted she would say something that wild. "Are you out of your mind?" he asks, looking at her like she is completely crazy. She does not get mad, probably just losing her mind from the betrayal. "Your husband cheated because my fiancé is hotter and better in bed," he tells her. "Why would I do that with you?" That comment definitely strikes a nerve because her face instantly twists in anger. "What do you mean by that?" she demands. Our guy takes a closer look at her. To be completely honest, she is actually pretty good looking. She looks a lot like his girlfriend, just a few years older. Our guy is low-key venting here because he is burning inside, wanting to blame her for not keeping her husband on a leash. But he has zero right to judge, since his own girlfriend is out here betraying him too. And get this, she tells him to get lost, saying she's done with street food now that she's tasted luxury. Honestly, when this woman loses it, she is terrifying. Bai Ningbing is just sitting right across from him. She's holding a wet towel to her swollen cheek, while he refuses to even look up.
He can't stand looking at her right now because every time he does, he just pictures her in another guy's arms, making those sounds.
Why did she do it? There has to be a reason, right? Was he not good enough? She just tells him he is a good guy. That absolutely breaks him. He is apparently just a good guy. Is that why she did this? He flew over 2,000 kilometers for business. Just to solve client issues, only to catch his own fiancé cheating red-handed. Do nice guys really finish last? He starts screaming and smashing things to vent his rage. But she fires back, complaining that he's always away on business. She asks if he even spent any time with her after proposing. He is literally laughing in disbelief. Why else would he travel? Doesn't getting married mean they need to buy a house? What about the dowry? Without these trips, where is the money supposed to come from? He's never traveled this far before, and these long journeys absolutely exhaust him. He's working himself to death just for their future, but she doesn't even care. His lips start trembling as he desperately tries to hold back his tears. Then he asks the golden question. Who's the guy she slept with? She scoffs and says he is way richer and actually has time for her. He just shakes his head as the brutal truth finally clicks. It was all about the money. Talk about a plot twist that hurts. He tells her to get out. He tells her to go chase her rich guy, but she just sneers back, asking if he's any better. She points at the scar on his wrist, and he instinctively covers it. He's told her 100 times it was a childhood injury, but she's completely reaching now. She demands to know who gave him the scar, acting totally unhinged. He isn't getting defensive, he's just exhausted by her absolute lack of logic. He's always been loyal, and now she's just grasping at straws to paint him as the bad guy. Just trying to throw dirt on him to make herself feel better. At this point, there is absolutely nothing left to save. He tells her to leave, but she doesn't budge. He screams at her to get out, and she finally slams the door crying. Like, she really has the nerve to cry? But then his own tears start falling, and he doesn't sleep a single wink. The next day's meeting is a complete disaster, and the client openly mocks him. This entire trip was a massive waste, and then boom, his boss calls. It's his boss, and you already know the client complained. He answers quietly, but his boss asks if there is a tall building nearby. Or maybe a river. Go jump! Don't even hesitate! He tries to apologize, but his boss tells him to shut up. He says he is the grandson now, because right now, the client just chewed him out like a dog. He asks if our guy is trying to get fired. Our guy sniffles and apologizes, but the boss sighs, saying he's not trying to be harsh. But he's just a tech guy, and they both know his limits. His boss, Brother Liu, immediately explodes, asking how he managed to mess up such an easy task. But our guy just drops a bomb. His wife, Bai Ningbing, literally cheated on him yesterday. Pure silence on the phone before absolute chaos erupts. He asks if having a cheating wife means he can just ignore his actual job. Like, she did not cheat with me, so why are you taking this out on me? Apologies mean nothing now. He tells our main character to just get lost. He screams that he does not even have to show up for work anymore, followed by silence. Instead, he gets a 7-day break to clear his head, receipts included. The boss promises to reimburse everything, hanging up before our guy can even say thanks. With tears welling up, our main character spends the next few days completely isolated. He basically just rots in his hotel room or goes to local bars to drown his sorrows. After getting completely wasted, he crashes. But today, walking into a bar, everything changes. And then, boom! He spots a very familiar face sitting there. It is the guy's wife. Driven by some crazy impulse, he sits right across from her as she squints to recognize him. She actually smiles, orders another glass, and pours him half a cup of strong vodka. Filling her own glass, she clinks them together and downs it like an absolute champ. He wonders if she is looking down on him, thinking she was still angry. Our main character thought she was still mad about their argument, but she suddenly calls him out. She jokingly asks if he is raising fish in his cup, so he quickly downs it. Another round gets poured immediately, making the whole vibe low-key awkward. He has no idea what to say, but then she breaks the ice by asking his name. After introducing himself as Fang Yuan, she sighs, saying her ex had the exact same name. Since that name is super rare, he realizes this girl is probably completely wasted. She starts calling her ex a total loser, which low-key feels like an indirect attack on him. Her husband is also a massive jerk, she complains, wondering why she only meets losers. To avoid the awkwardness, he quickly changes the subject and asks for her name. She reveals her name is Shang Xin-si, and they just keep chatting back and forth. As they talk, she suddenly passes out cold on the table, and he gently nudges her. Once he confirms she's only asleep and not dead, he wonders where to take her. But then, the waiter approaches and politely asks if he can settle the bill first. He asks if she already paid, but the waiter tells him no. Trying to wake Shang Xin-si up, he realizes she is sleeping like a dead pig. She just mumbles in her sleep while the waiter stands there with a polite, professional smile. That intense gaze and a twitching mouth make the whole situation painfully awkward. Too embarrassed to wake her up, he just asks for the bill. The total is $8,820, but they discount it to $8,800. He hands over his card while already feeling pretty dazed by the heavy alcohol. His tongue is tied and his heart literally skips a beat with every single PIN number. This is his hard-earned money, and he cannot believe how crazy these bar prices are. He decides to let it go, though he originally wanted an invoice. But then he realizes that if Brother Liu saw an $8,000 business expense, his boss would pass out from anger, so he just carries her out. She is completely knocked out, not helping at all, and feeling like pure dead weight. He is sweating like crazy, desperately wondering where on earth he should take her. To make things worse, her warm breath keeps tickling his ear, making him feel incredibly flustered. Fang Yuan drops her onto a lounger, finally loosening his collar to catch his breath. He looks down at her flushed, drunken cheeks, catching a glimpse of a necklace around her neck. A pretty wild thought pops into his head, making him instantly look away in panic. He shakes his head vigorously. Nope, even the prettiest girl isn't worth $8,800 a night. Turning around, he spots a hotel nearby, brightly lit and practically calling his name. The front desk clerk smiles, asking if he wants a standard room or a single king bed. Honestly, he does not care as long as they give him a key right now. Carrying her has completely drained his energy, and worse, he can feel her getting ready to throw up. If she ruins his only outfit, it is going to be an absolute nightmare. Taking one look at the completely wasted girl on his back, the receptionist books them a king room. Fang Yuan just nods quickly. Whatever, just hurry. Meanwhile, another receptionist nearby starts giggling. She hides her smile, probably assuming he is just desperate to get some action. Honestly, he has the time to explain. Our boy is under serious pressure here. You would rush too if your shirt was about to become a puke target. Finally, he throws her onto the bed. At that exact second, his anxiety vanishes. He only packed one suit for this trip. If she ruined this outfit, he would be totally screwed, so he leaves her to sleep off the booze. He is definitely not doing that classic drama trope of undressing a drunk girl. Life is not a movie, and doing that is a one-way ticket to a massive misunderstanding. Instead, before heading out, our guy suddenly remembers something and grabs a pen and paper. He leaves her a quick note, $8,800 for drinks, $500 for the room, totaling $9,300. Transfer the cash when you wake up, and he leaves his bank account number right there. He quietly slips away. Heading down to the lobby, our main character is still feeling pretty depressed. He barely even drank tonight, yet he just dropped $9,300. Will she actually play fair and pay him back? He fans himself, hoping she does. Sweating bullets as he passes the front desk, the receptionist whispers something under her breath. She mutters about him leaving so fast. Nah, that's insane. He spins around, demanding to know what she said. Another guy at the desk quickly explains she was just talking about food delivery. He claims she meant the delivery guy was fast because she's starving. Absolutely speechless. If he had actually done anything, fine, but he didn't even touch her. You would think she'd pay him back, but the second day passes with 0 bank alerts. No bank alerts on day 3 either, but day 4 brings a text. Turns out his credit card bill is due. By day 5, he has to drag himself back to work. But get this, dealing with this wild situation actually does something unexpected. His heavy chest feels a little lighter, and the pain isn't stinging as bad anymore. Wait, plot twist. His sadness didn't actually heal. The pain just shifted from being cheated on to being completely stressed about losing over $9,000. But hey, life goes on. First, our boy deletes and blocks Bai Ningbing on absolutely everything. Finally! He tells himself to just let it go and start over. Back to the office, slacking off like he always does. Complaining about work trips and dipping at 5 sharp? Classic Fang Yuan. Old Liu finds him super weird, saying the guy is basically like an old-school tractor. He works in random bursts, either grinding like his absolute life depends on it, or just slacking off and wasting time. But that is not the whole story. Fang Yuan has simply reverted to his old self, the one before he ever met Bai Ningbing. He genuinely thought his life would just keep drifting along like this, totally aimless, yet somehow still comfortable. But fate is wild. One day, he is sitting at his desk with his legs crossed, aggressively eating a pancake while coding away. Suddenly, he sees old Liu bowing like a total servant, leading Shang Xinxi right into the office. Probably because of his insane look, she spots him instantly. She gives a faint smile and whispers something quietly to old Liu. Old Liu looks incredibly awkward and completely shocked as he walks straight toward Fang Yuan. Get to the conference room now, he says. The VIP client wants to talk. Telling him to cut the crap, old Liu quickly drags him into the room. Once everyone sits down, Shang Xinxi keeps her eyes absolutely glued to Fang Yuan's face. This totally confuses old Liu, who stammers that he should introduce everyone first. Standing up, old Liu nervously introduces her as their massive new high-profile business partner, Shang Xinxi. Then he introduces technician Fang Yuan before nervously looking back at her. He mentions that Xiao Fang is just a tech lead and does not know the product well. Old Liu asks why she wanted him here, and she simply replies, to have a chat. She politely tells old Lao that she just really enjoys discussing the technical details. But her eyes never leave Fang Yuan as old Liu nervously asks what she wants to know. Old Liu offers to answer, but she abruptly asks Fang Yuan out for dinner. Old Liu immediately blurts out yes, while Fang Yuan instantly retorts that she must be out of her mind. Old Liu snaps at him. Xiao Fang, stop interrupting and only speak when you are spoken to. Then he laughs awkwardly, telling her not to mind since Xiao Fang has not been feeling well lately. He literally just said he was sick, so old Liu offers to accompany her instead. She ignores him and directly asks Fang Yuan what exactly he did to her that night. She leans in super close. What night is she talking about? Old Liu looks between them, realizing he is a total third wheel. Honestly, I cannot stop laughing. Fang Yuan simply pulls out his phone and plays a video to clear things up. To avoid any drama, he had recorded everything from the second he entered her hotel room. From tucking her in all the way to leaving and locking the door. It was one continuous take. Nowadays, even married couples get framed, so he had to be safe. With false accusations everywhere, he had to stay smart. After watching, she smiles. Shang Xinxi smirks slightly, her mind completely unreadable as she stares at him. Old Liu strains his neck, desperately trying to see what is on that screen. But the lighting is too bad to see anything, leaving him to just hold his head and sigh. Fang Yuan then asks, since they are on the topic, when is she paying back his 9,300? Both of them shout together, what? 9,300? Old Liu says he has no clue, but Fang Yuan glares and snaps, who even asked you? Shang Xinxi simply leans back, claiming she has no idea either. She gives a playful smile, while old Liu asks if they are actually going to talk business. He asks if they are flirting, but both snap at him to shut up. Fang Yuan asks if she is trying to cheat him, but she fires back. Did I ask you to pay? Fang Yuan snaps that he is quitting the project, but she counters that she will still find him anyway. Boss Liu slaps the table and snaps, are you the boss or what? He is the boss, and he worked his ass off to secure this project, only for our boy to reject it. Treat me like your father then, Boss Liu yells before quickly turning to apologize to Shang Xinxi. He begs for her forgiveness, saying he is deeply sorry on behalf of Xiao Fang. Shang Xinxi tells him to think it over, agreeing to the deal if Xiao Fang dines with her. The boss is ecstatic, promising he would make Xiao Fang eat dirt if that is what she wanted. Threatened with losing 3 months of pay, Xiao Fang is backed into a corner. But with a 20,000 yuan bonus on the table, he agrees and thanks Shang Xinxi at dinner. She coldly tells him to just pay her back. After all, it is over 9,000 yuan. Xiao Fang is like, what do you mean only 9,000? His monthly salary is only 8,000 and his ex left him because he was too broke. She ran off with your husband, but Shang Xinxi just smiles and suggests a deal. She leans in close, making a very suggestive and intimate move. He dodges as she offers him 20,000 a month to basically be her kept man. Xiao Fang tells her she is absolutely insane and stands up to walk out. She warns him that if he leaves, the deal is off. Talk about a total power move. He immediately sits back down, but the rest of that dinner is completely tasteless. Honestly, being around this woman always leaves our boy feeling incredibly anxious and confused. It is like he owed her a massive debt in a past life and she is back for revenge. The two of them barely even speak, just quietly eating their food. Afterward, she hands him an address to bring the contract over tomorrow for the official signing. He is shocked she is so decisive, but she reminds him that a promise is a promise. With the deal secured, Xiao Fang finally stops stressing over those 9,000 yuan.
Boss Liu is actually pretty reliable, so that promised 20,000 yuan bonus is definitely coming. When he does the math, his paycheck this month is looking absolutely massive. The next day, he flies over 2,000 kilometers just to sign the contract with FIANCÉE. Her company looks incredibly grand. Who knows how Boss Liu managed to pull this off? Somehow, he tricked her into buying their product. Today, she is rocking a sharp business suit. She looks extremely professional and polished, with none of yesterday's playful attitude. She actually has a very commanding aura now. Once he explains the contract details, things get interesting. She starts grilling him with technical questions. Wait, this girl actually knows her stuff. This really catches him off guard, but luckily, tech is his absolute specialty. He handles it easily, and she admits she is impressed with his skills. Xiao Fang gets a bit cocky, slouching right back into his swivel chair. But then he quickly sits up straight, realizing how comfortable he feels. Even though she can be incredibly frustrating, she somehow makes him feel totally relaxed. They have that classic frenemies dynamic, which is probably why he let his guard down. That kind of casual behavior is something he would never dare show other clients. Out of nowhere, she asks him to quit his job and work for her instead. She offers a base salary of 20,000 yuan, plus extra bonuses. He asks if she is trying to buy him again, but she says he is just worth the price. She is completely serious this time, wanting him to be her new tech director. Xiao Fang waves it off, saying he is doing perfectly fine working for Boss Liu. She questions why, pointing out that Boss Liu only pays him 8,000 a month. Calling it a waste of his talent, she leaves our boy completely speechless. He gives her a quick explanation, not wanting to get too detailed. He explains that his relationship with old Liu isn't just boss and employee. Starving and broke, old Liu literally saved him. He taught him everything he knows, so even with the company struggling now, leaving just feels wrong. He couldn't just walk away. Hearing this, Xiang Xingxi nods. She finally stops pushing him. Just call me, she says. He says absolutely. But get this, he privately decides he'd rather jump off a building. With that, he grabs the contract and leaves. But the moment he goes downstairs, old Liu calls him, sounding totally stressed. Skip the office and fly straight to Jinan right now. Xiao Fang doesn't argue. He knows this client is their biggest. If they screw this up, the penalty is astronomical, like literally company ending. Basically, the company is doomed. He quickly asks Boss Sheng what's wrong. Xiao Fang, get over here. Look at this absolute garbage your software is showing. He gets right to work, but the backend looks clean. He runs it again. Still nothing. If there's a glitch, it's deep in the source code. But he wrote this entire program himself. It's worked perfectly for years, not a single bug. He tells Boss Zhang everything is fine, but his voice is shaking. No shot. The software says this giant company is about to crash. Boss Zhang laughs. He says his company is massive and their finances are totally clean. Yet this software is predicting their complete ruin. Xiao Fang desperately tries to explain that the software is just running AI. It just analyzes potential risks. It is simply pointing out that there is a risk of bankruptcy. But Boss Zhang is furious. He yells that he pays them to help him, not curse him. Show me the contract. He shoves Xiao Fang aside and calls his secretary. He aggressively flips through the pages. He points at a clause about data margin errors. You pay. That's the contract. He flips the page to show the massive liability fees. Then he turns back to his computer screen. Your software says we go bankrupt in 6 months, right? If we're still standing, then you are completely finished. Please calm down, Boss Zhang. But the man is completely done listening. He demands they follow the contract to the letter. He warns him to tell old Liu that business is business. The client is absolutely losing it over how the developer promised a masterpiece but delivered absolute trash. He gets kicked out of the office and heads straight back to headquarters. Lao Liu looks like he aged 10 years in a second, slumped lifelessly in his chair. Chain smoking in utter disbelief, he mutters that this cannot be real. How is this even possible? Xiao Fang stares down, smoking in heavy silence. Utterly speechless. They have been running this software for ages without a single hitch, so how did it crash this hard? Lao Liu suspects sabotage, but Xiao Fang shakes his head.
The poor guy is clearly panicking. Their company is way too small for anyone to target them. Lao Liu knows tech. If their code got tampered with, they would know. The backend would have flagged any intrusion, meaning Huacheng is genuinely on the brink of total collapse. Xiao laughs because a massive corporation does not just collapse overnight. He reminds Lao Liu that Huacheng still has 6 months left, so they need to analyze this logically. Should they keep selling or pull the plug? Xiao takes a hard drag of his cigarette. If they recall it, those breach of contract fines will ruin them. But if they do not pull it and another massive system crash happens, they are completely done for. They would not survive. To make matters worse, they just licensed this exact same software to the massive Bainat group. The penalty fee for backing out of that single contract alone would permanently put them out of business. Same exact broken product. He looks completely broken by the shock, suddenly remembering that Xiao actually knows the chief executive of Bainat. Lao Liu begs him to negotiate, leaving Xiao with a heavy sigh. He cannot possibly turn down his partner, so he accepts that he has to handle this nightmare himself. Dealing with that woman gives him a massive headache. Honestly, she has final boss energy. She is constantly flirting and teasing him about becoming her sugar baby, which is actually crazy. What normal man could resist? She asks him what brings him to her office this time. Teasingly, she asks if he is finally ready to jump ship, but Xiao quickly denies it. He explains he is there to negotiate a business favor, and she smiles, amused by his sudden politeness. Xiao lays out the entire situation, basically explaining the massive technical issues their product is facing. He tells her their software has some minor bugs and needs critical debugging before they can deliver it. Requesting to push back the delivery date, he offers a full refund and extra compensation. She simply smiles and asks what happens if he decides to say no. He pleads with her, hoping their friendly history will convince her to be generous and give him a break. Xiao is totally clueless about her game. She just keeps staring at him with a playful smile, making him feel incredibly nervous and uncomfortable. Her agreement comes with a catch. She wants to pay him 20,000 yuan every month. Essentially, she wants to sponsor him as her kept man in exchange for extending the deadline. Bro, what kind of sugar baby has to work overtime as a technical director? This makes no sense. He realizes she is talking about the literal romantic kind, forcing himself to swallow down the urge to call her crazy. Pleading for mercy, he begs her to stop teasing, but she asks if she is not good enough. She mockingly asks if she is less beautiful, worse in bed, or just poorer than his famous ex-girlfriend. Xiao immediately surrenders, admitting he was totally wrong and desperately apologizing to her. He confesses that he was acting completely brainless that day and begs her not to hold a grudge. She gets up from her executive chair and walks right over, stopping directly in front of him. Before he can stand, she presses him back down, using her sweet-scented finger to slowly lift his chin. Shang Xinxi casually drops that he prefers our main character wild and untamed, not even giving him a chance to reply. He sits right back down in his chair and asks him to explain exactly which company has the issues. Our main character mentions their non-disclosure agreement, but Shang Xinxi just mocks the entire idea. He basically tells him to get lost and keep his little secrets to himself. Left with no other choice, our main character spills everything about Huacheng Group to Shang Xinxi. He explains that their software glitched out, while Shang Xinxi just listens quietly without interrupting. The boss just takes a few notes on a notepad and cracks a subtle smile. Once the explanation is done, Shang Xinxi surprisingly agrees to delay the deadline and sends him off. Honestly, this is a huge shock to our main character because even though they know each other, they are absolutely not close friends, and you could even say they had some major beef in the past.
So him stepping up like this is low-key heartwarming, even though a massive corporate giant like his
does not care about a tiny late penalty. Still, nobody is going to turn down free cash. He repeatedly bows and thanks him on behalf of his entire startup for this massive favor. He gives Shang Xinxi a deep bow, but the boss just laughs and repeats that he likes him wild and untamed. He jokingly threatens to change his mind, so our main character scrambles out of there fast. He practically sprints out of the office and immediately shares the incredible news with Lao Liu. The old man's worried face finally relaxes because avoiding a breach of contract means survival. Their cash flow is saved, giving them some much-needed breathing room to figure things out.
The two of them decide that the best immediate move is to halt all sales of their software. They will quietly maintain the copies already in the wild and keep a very close eye on things. If they are forced to do a full product recall, the financial damage will completely ruin them. Fortunately, their scrappy little startup manages to barely scrape by and survive another day. For the next few months, our main character basically has zero personal life left to speak of. He is constantly out on the grind, running around day and night to pitch their other products to keep the lights on. He needs to build a massive cash cushion for their company so they can survive when the Huacheng group situation inevitably blows up in their faces. Meanwhile, Lao Liu is pushing himself to the absolute limit, barely getting 2 hours of sleep. He runs around everywhere to secure new projects, but with just one single month left before the Huacheng crisis hits, boom, they get hit with a major plot twist. The good news is that Huacheng Group literally just went bankrupt. But the tragic bad news is that Lao Liu suddenly collapsed from illness, and his condition is incredibly severe. Even if they spend every single cent meant for Huacheng on his medical bills, there is no guarantee he will recover. Sitting quietly by his hospital bedside, our main character peels an apple for his sick partner. Lao Liu refuses to eat, so he just takes slow bites of it himself, feeling completely helpless. Lao Liu tries to look on the bright side, muttering that at least the company is saved. But our main character begs him to sell the company so they can afford his treatment bills. Lao Liu snaps right back, telling him to shut up because the company belongs to the whole team. He says everyone would gladly agree to sell, but Lao Liu argues a small startup won't even fetch much cash anyway. Even with cash, there is no cure for this, and the guys would just lose their entire livelihood. Sniffling back his tears, our main character softly promises they will find another way out of this. Lao Liu just scoffs and asks if some company really tried to headhunt him for $20,000 a month. Our main character tells him he rejected the offer, joking about who would hire him now, as Lao Liu coughs heavily. He quickly pats his partner's back to help him catch his breath. Lao Liu wheezes, asking if that software he built is actually that insanely powerful, since it predicted Huacheng going completely bankrupt. Our main character brushes it off, saying they just got incredibly lucky with the timing. He insists the code is still full of bugs, but Lao Liu feels differently. He thinks that maybe the software's prediction was actually 100% accurate. Out of breath, he leaves the ward, terrified the old man might pass away mid-sentence. Ducking into the emergency stairwell, he desperately tries to muffle his heavy sobs. Honestly, the last time he cried like this was when his ex, Bai Ningbing, cheated on him. Just then, his phone rings. It's FIANCÉE. Clearing his throat, he answers, and she immediately offers him a job. Since his current company has 0 projects, he needs a new grind to pay the hospital bills. He doesn't refuse this time. He knows she's completely right. At her company, he works his butt off while she keeps things strictly professional. Pure business and tech. And honestly, seeing this side of her makes him low-key catch feelings. He even starts to wonder if they could actually make a pretty good couple. But he quickly shakes off the unrealistic thought. She is usually so playful, no shot she'd actually like him back.
Even if she did, it'd probably just be for his tech skills anyway.
But things change. Shang Xinxi hands him a bank card, leaving him totally confused. She says it's payback for the $9,000 he once lent her. He takes the card. But when he checks the ATM, bro, there's $100,000 in there. He immediately calls her up, and she explains that the extra is just a loan. She tells him to use the rest to cover Lao Liu's treatment first. Pay me back, she says, then hangs up. Clenching his phone, he feels a rush of gratitude he can't even describe. For now, Lao Liu is stable, but keeping him alive is a non-stop cash drain. The doctors recommend surgery, but the cost is absolutely insane. Neither of them can afford it, yet this is still a massive win. Only one goal now: make money. Lao Liu's company barely breaks even while keeping their entire staff employed. That leaves him as the sole provider, and honestly, he finally understands Bai Ningbing. Without cash, you're helpless. Selling out for cash is terrible, but under this pressure, it's almost human. Just a different path, I guess. Meanwhile, Shang Xinxi keeps coming through for him. His respect for her skyrockets. She's brilliant, gorgeous, and honestly amazing when she's not teasing him. After work, they start grabbing dinner and walking around together. She even lets her guard down, stopping to stare at colorful balloons like a kid. He just stands back, watching her laugh and haggle with the street vendors. Under the streetlights, her long shadow stretches right across his chest. For her birthday the next day, she takes him to a 5-star hotel. The overly polite staff and fancy atmosphere make him feel super out of place. He stays totally quiet. He has never even heard of these dishes, so she just orders their best specials. Shang Xinzi doesn't even look at the menu as she orders. Signature steak is served. The portions are tiny, with 2 waiters standing right behind them. Our boy takes one bite, and the waiter immediately serves him another. Honestly, the fancy vibe totally freezes him up. Xinzi notices his awkwardness and starts teasing him about the high-end food. Bland. Drenched in sauce, it still tastes like plain blood. Maybe rich people like it. He just plays it cool to protect his pride. Then she suddenly suggests leaving. Xinzi drags him right out of the restaurant to a roadside food stall. Skewers, tons of them. Who knew a successful, high-powered female boss would eat cheap street food? She passes a skewer. He bites. Amazing! She clinks her glass against his and downs her beer like an absolute boss. Still think rich folks avoid street food? No shot. This girl is definitely holding a grudge. Stop it! Honestly, this second drinking session feels 1,000 times better than their last. Once they get buzzed, her face turns red. Exactly like she slept on his back. Being with her would be pure heaven. But then she asks about tomorrow. America. His skewer drops right onto the dirty ground. He grabs it, blows off the dust, and eats. Sudden? Not really. She stayed behind all this time just to wait for one specific person. She is done waiting, going back. His heart is aching. Is she talking about him? Maybe, but he lacks the courage to ask. Or is he just being delusional? Classic trope. Then she invites him along. She even offers to wait a few days. Is this a hint? Is he the one? Then he remembers old Liu. He declines because he must stay to care for him. She eats silently. She just nods. She tells him to see her off tomorrow, promising a parting gift. Cardboard. That is what it tastes like now. At the airport, she hands him a bag to open after her flight. A gift. He just wants to look at her. Really leaving? Really not coming? Yeah, life is complicated. Honestly, this slow burn angst is killing me. He looks at her, she agrees. Unless a miracle happens. Want a hug? He opens his arms, but she steps back. He crosses his arms as if looking at a total stranger.
Hey, bad uncle, he says. I was just kidding, so a hug is enough.
Linglong tells him to stretch his arm over. Confused, Fang Yuan still listens and holds it out. He grabs Fang Yuan's hand and bites down hard on his wrist. He lets go and runs giggling into the departure hall, leaving Fang Yuan staring at his wrist. The new bite mark is slightly larger than the old childhood scar underneath. That skipping figure matches his memory perfectly. Oh my god, the author is cooking. Flashback time. Young Fang Yuan asks why he has to leave, and Linglong answers that his family is moving. Does that mean we can never meet again? Of course we can meet, Linglong replies. I will come back for you. Pinky promise. Keep your word. Linglong begs him to come along, but Fang Yuan says he must stay to care for his aging mother. But what if you do not recognize me when I return? Linglong worries. Then let me bite you, so I can recognize my own mark later. That is how I will know you are back, so do not cry from the pain. Ow, it hurts. The moms laugh, saying the kids are just playing, and a little bite is fine. It is just a harmless game. A bite will not do any damage. His mother gently strokes Linglong's head, asking if he will miss his auntie. Linglong stays silent, staring at Fang Yuan with heavy tears streaming down his face. Time is up. They must board the bus now. Linglong's mother waves goodbye, telling them to have a safe journey on the road. Fang Yuan is ushered into the vehicle, pressing his face against the rear window to watch. The engine starts, and Linglong breaks free from his mother, desperately chasing the car. Brother, you will come back for me, right? You promised you would marry me one day. Back then, Fang Yuan was only 5 years old, and Linglong was 4. But he broke that promise. He never went back to find him.
He blames himself for treating a childhood vow like a joke, mistaking pure sincerity for childish nonsense. No wonder Linglong said his ex-boyfriend was named Fang Yuan. And called him a total scumbag. It all makes sense now. His company was over 2,000 kilometers away, yet he still tracked down their old boss, Lao Liu. No wonder he kept lecturing about keeping promises and constantly teased Fang Yuan.
No wonder he always helped him out. He recognized Fang Yuan from the very start. This is low-key heartbreaking, guys.
That day, Fang Yuan sat on the ground smoking. Linglong was not spacing out at the cigarette. He was staring at the bite scar on his wrist. Fang Yuan's hands shake as he dials his number. He hangs up. Fang Yuan tries again, but still no answer, so he desperately texts him the truth. "Are you Linglong? Why did you not tell me sooner?" "I wanted you to fall in love with the current me," Linglong replies. Fang Yuan feels devastated. "I am so sorry, but those childhood memories are already in the past." "There is nothing to apologize for, but are you ever coming back?" Avoiding the question entirely, he asks if Fang Yuan has opened the parting gift yet. Fang Yuan tears open the bag in a hurry, finding a thick stack of corporate documents. Linglong actually bought out Lao Liu's company and transferred ownership directly to Fang Yuan. He kept everything exactly the same. This way, Lao Liu gets the money needed for medical treatments. The employees get to keep their jobs. At first, Fang Yuan can read the text clearly. But soon, his vision blurs with tears. He wipes them away and whispers his gratitude. "Do not mention it," Linglong replies. "Your team was great, even though our company, Bainat, originally wanted to bankrupt Huacheng." Who knew her software would actually predict this? Those Huacheng idiots really did not believe a single word. Sure, they bankrupted Huacheng, but he quickly clarifies it definitely was not just to help her. It was always part of their business plan anyway. But then he asks, is she ever coming back? Nope. She won't return, she quietly types while holding back tears.
He teases her for abandoning him after basically sponsoring his life. When did she ever sponsor him?
He lists it off. She paid his salary and even gifted him his entire company. Every single struggle he faced, she solved. If that is not sponsorship, then what is? She laughs it off, joking that if they ever get the chance, they will definitely make this sugar mama status fully official. But jokes aside, he asks when she's returning, and honestly, she says she is probably never coming back. He sighs, mentioning how he gave her so many chances. Looking back, he really did try so hard. He dropped so many hints, and last night he was practically begging her to finally see the truth. Yet she was completely blind to the fact that he was her childhood friend Linglong. How can she face him now? Her flight is boarding. Time to shut off her phone. Take care. Maybe fate will bring them back together. The very next day, a text pops up on her phone, asking how it feels to finally lose her beloved Linglong.
"It hurts like crazy," she replies.
He texts back, "Do you regret not coming back for me years ago?" She admits she does. Then he asks if she regrets rejecting his offer to go to America at that food stall. Yes, she deeply regrets it, but get this, he was actually just playing with her. He is just visiting America for a business trip and returns next week. Talk about a happy ending. This series was honestly such a hidden gem. If you loved this journey, hit that like button. Subscribe for more.